welcome to the All in the Family Fantasy Football Podcast. All right, it's time to get into the latest in the NFL news. Let's start with Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa underwent further tests as of yesterday, which was Monday, with bruised ribs, and the results of the tests were negative. So it's really just a pain tolerance. With Tua, can he play through the pain, or is it too painful, to throw? Obviously, he's going to be taking some shots back there. And when Jacoby Brissett came in, which I believe was in the second quarter, man, they looked rough. They did not look good. Of course, Buffalo Bills blew them out. They didn't score a single point. So it's tough. It's going to be a rough one. If, in fact, the Dolphins do lose Tua, I think their whole team would change. He's probably not going to be out for any longer than a game, but
right.
It's going to look way different.
Yeah. So where do you put somebody like Waddle at if Tua misses a couple weeks? Do you play him?
Waddle was always a flex, so
right,
I think he would stay like that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right. So the next, it was a crazy week, and every minute it seemed like on my phone I was getting an update of somebody going down. It just was nonstop all Sunday long, and a lot of quarterbacks. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Bears quarterback, Andy Dalton. He goes down, and the report is that the initial exams did not show no AC air tail and no damage to the MCL. There's an MRI today, but the early diagnosis of a bone bruise would show he dodged a major injury. And that's what it's looking like. Right now, the timeline for this injury is 1 to 2 weeks, but it could be, a month or a month and a half.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario. So, I guess that would, honestly, what's the wide receiver? Allen Robinson, he hasn't really done a whole lot, even with Andy Dalton in now. So, that makes him almost a little bit worse even without him in. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on.
Yeah. Well, that could go either way. The rookie is going to turn the ball over. He's going to make rookie mistakes. Yeah. He's already done that. But he extends plays. He can scramble, which opens up, a target like Allen Robinson.
Sure.
I am really encouraged to see David Montgomery and how many open holes he's going to look at with Justin Fields out there. I think he's going to benefit the most.
Yeah, I would agree too, because it's just as like the Ravens, when they're so scared of Lamar running the ball that it just makes it that much easier for the running back. So could be a very good thing for Montgomery, who's looked amazing this year already. Definitely, picked it right back up where he left off at the end of last year. The Bears fans, they booed Dalton when he came into the game, and they wanted Justin Fields, and the coach came out and said Andy Dalton is the quarterback when he's healthy.
Yeah.
So...
Well, he's not healthy.
He's not healthy, so we'll see.
He'll never be healthy again.
Yeah. We'll see how Justin Fields does. Everybody's interested to see. So that's good. All right,
next bit of news is Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry left the game on Sunday with what was a sprained MCL, and never returned to that game. And the original, quote from Kevin Stefanski is that he wasn't ruling out Jarvis Landry for this upcoming week.
Right.
Well, as of just a few hours ago, the news broke that Jarvis Landry's being put on the injured reserve.
Yeah.
So if you remember from last year, the sprained MCL is the same exact injury that Nick Chubb got. and it kept him out for the bye week included, but he was out for 5 weeks, a month at easy. So Jarvis Landry's going to be out. Yeah, as you know, Odell Beckham Jr. is already hurt. The Browns are hurting in the passing game. Up to this point, they've had some pretty. They played the Chiefs, but their defense is spotty. They played the Texans, awful team. This week they're playing another. Who are the Browns playing this week?
They're playing the Carolina Panthers on Thursday night.
No, the Browns.
Oh, the Browns. Oh, I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got another pretty easy matchup coming up.
Let's see. I did you hear that Odell Beckham Jr. isn't he coming back this week?
Yeah, well, he might. Yeah, and if he does, he might be a decent play.
Yeah. So the Browns and the Bears play September 26th. That's this Sunday, right? At 1:00.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The Bears.
Yep.
Okay. So again, not that the Bears' defense is pushover, but they can move the ball on them. So
yeah.
So it won't be long before the Browns are playing the Steelers, the Ravens, teams like that, and so we'll see what they're made of then.
What do you think about OBJ? What do you see him doing as he comes back?
I think it's going to be slow going. He'll get it going, just similar with the Cortland Sutton situation.
Right.
It was going to be slow going, but then all of a sudden Jerry Jeudy goes down, and now they need Sutton.
Exactly.
He's their biggest target.
Yeah.
So he's going to get force-fed the ball. And if OBJ gets force-fed the ball, he'll do great things.
Yeah, he will. So. I mean, he's been like and we're not going to get too much into it, but he's been like a headache. He hasn't done anything since he's been with the Browns. So
yeah,
maybe he comes back and does well. All right, on to the next bit of news, which is our good old friend Carson Wentz.
Wency.
I think they ought to check his ankles before he started the game because to me it looked like they were both broken before he ever started throwing shovel passes. I think I watched him throw 3 as he's going down to the ground.
Jeez, come on, Wentz.
I don't know what happened to this man. He went from, a Philadelphia legend to he just looks so terrible when you watch him.
He can make the best offensive line look terrible.
Oh my goodness. It is I feel
the whole thing with him going to the Colts is every single professional sportscaster said that Carson Wentz now is going to the NFL team with the best offensive line. He'll succeed. Well, guess what? He doesn't have 2 seconds to throw the ball. He got both his ankles broken.
Oh, my goodness. It is ridiculous. The other thing, I think it is notable to point out is that, what was it, COVID in the preseason? He was going, so he really didn't have, he's on a new team. He didn't have a lot of time to practice with them. He really didn't get any preseason games in. So, it's all still fresh, but nonetheless, that doesn't really matter if you go back and watch some of the tape from Sunday. I mean, he just looked terrible. He gave Michael Pittman Jr. an excellent day, but he just didn't look good. So he has not only 1, but 2 ankle injuries, which is
you only have 2 ankles.
It's just like, after the first one, why did you come back? I'm looking for the timeline here. Is there anything? Do you have something over there that says like what he's projected to come back or anything like that?
Well, I don't think he's definitely out. I don't think he's been ruled out for the game. So
it just says here that it's just a sprain in both ankles.
Yeah,
it's not a high sprain, and it's day to day for him right now. It's up in the air whether he'll play week 3, but I don't know, man. I love Carson Wentz for what he did that year in Philly, but it just has been like a headache ever since then because he's never came back. I want to see him do really well, and I hope that as he starts to adjust to this new team, he starts to get it together. But man, it looked terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Yep. All right, moving on. Amari Cooper. He got injured. He left the game. He left under his own power. He walked off the field, but he has bruised ribs. Just watching Amari Cooper for the last 5 years, he's always hurt.
Yeah.
He's always dinged up. He always plays, and he always does well. So, I don't think that this will keep him out of the game. If it does, maybe one game, but again, they play on Monday night against the Eagles.
Oh yeah.
So he'll be out there, and I'm sure he'll do what he does. He'll at least draw the best coverage, Darius Slay, which will keep CeeDee Lamb just eating
Oh yeah.
over the middle.
Yep,
So,
for sure.
yep.
All right. Well, the next one is one that hits close to home for me. Deontay Johnson. He went down twice in that game, came back, and then the last play of the game that meant absolutely nothing gets hit, and it's on his knee. He had to get helped off the field, and the report today is that he avoided a long-term knee injury. Whether he'll play on Sunday is something to keep an eye on practice every day to see if he's practicing. I don't know if he practiced today or not. I don't believe he did, but it's something to keep an eye on. As him, I mean, like you said in I don't know if it was the first or second one. He's glass. He's always getting injured. It stinks too because, one of the reasons I drafted him is because he's Big Ben's target. He gets double-digit targets every single game, and he's come through. I mean, last year when I had him in, this year he comes through, but he's just a big injury risk.
Yeah, and the thing that I don't like about Deontay Johnson is he has been known to start a game and come right out. Like he's like thinking he can go, and then the injury re-aggravates, and he's out after one drive.
It just seems like every time the guy gets hit, he's down.
Yeah,
it just is unreal.
I know he's great. He's a great route runner, great. And I kind of had this is a whole nother conversation, but I kind of had this weird perspective about Devontae Smith. He so reminds me of Deontay Johnson. Size, skill set, great route runner, can get open on anyone, but just so small, man. Such a small frame. We'll see. I mean, with Devontae Smith, he's a rookie, but I can kind of see a career like that.
Yeah.
This guy can't stay healthy.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, because when he plays, he does it. He's never let me down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's just a shame. So. Yep.
All right. Well, next, I mean, I don't think we need to talk about Metcalf. He's not on the injury report.
No, right. He got banged up. Pete Carroll said he got banged up.
Yeah. So, and then Tyrod Taylor. Let's talk about Tyrod Taylor. So Tyrod Taylor's actually been put on the injured reserve, which this year, as of last year, they've implemented a 3-week injured reserve. So, like, you used to have to go on injured reserve for most of the season. Not anymore. You can be put on the short-term injured reserve, which opens up a spot for the NFL to bring someone else onto their 53-man roster.
Right.
So it's been helpful for the NFL, especially with the amount of injuries and things like that. So Tyrod Taylor's on injured reserve. He's out. Next up is Davis Mills, quarterback that the Texans drafted in the 5th round, 6th round, something like that.
I thought it was 3rd, but I might have read it wrong.
Yeah, so he's, he's going to get a shot. I can't see him being worse than Tyrod Taylor. Right. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor can move. He can run around. But, Houston's a bad team, man. They're a bad team. They're going to be down. And I'll tell you who's not a bad team. The Carolina Panthers. Their defense looks good. Their offense looks good. Sam Darnold was a great signing.
Yep.
So I think that this game is going to be extremely lopsided, which is going to have Houston throwing the ball.
It is.
So if you got Brandon Cooks, you want to play him.
Right.
Other than that, I can't see playing anybody else for Houston.
Well, here's the thing that I read is that, even on Sunday when he played, there was like some analytical thing. I don't have it up anymore, but a lot of checkdowns, and he's projected to be throwing to, short passes to Cooks and dumping it off check down into the running backs a lot. That's what he did on Sunday, and there was like a really cool stat. I wish I would have saved it, but so
David Johnson,
right? Yeah, Philip Lindsay. So, I mean, I don't know that I'd want to go to one of them unless I was absolutely desperate, but I think that, as a rookie, we're going to see some of that. But yeah, I mean, how many rookies have taken over for Tyrod Taylor in the last 5 years?
Man, so what was it? First, was it Josh Allen? Was that in Buffalo?
Yep.
Justin Herbert last year, and now this guy.
He just
yeah,
brings
he's
him
the
in.
he's the baton passer,
Yeah.
the
Right.
candlestick holder.
All right. So the next one is the 49ers backfield.
Oof.
And I mean, I just the injury bug on San Francisco. This is coming from last year. Last
Yeah,
year,
I know.
literally every single person was injured, and now they've gone through 3, 4 running backs.
Yeah.
Eli Mitchell went out. Trey Sermon went out with a concussion. He's in concussion
Well,
protocol.
first Mostert got hurt.
Monster, right? Yeah.
No. Even before that, what was it? In the mini camp, the very first mini camp, Jeff Wilson Jr.
Right.
partially tore his ACL or something like that, an MCL, and he got put on the physically unable to perform list, which is where Jeff Wilson Jr. still sits. And then Mostert came into the season. They drafted Trey Sermon.
Yep.
Mostert comes in as the starter, as he should have been. First drive of the game, gets hurt. Bone bruise, cracks his knee bone, whatever. He's out for the season. Then, here comes Elijah Mitchell. Did great that first game, second game against the Eagles, doing something. He gets hurt.
Yeah.
Trey Sermon comes in, fumbles, and gets concussed on the same play. He's out. So, Jermichael Hasty, I think, even got dinged up and came out of the game. And then they brought Mitchell back in, which is a good thing because now he's the one. Trenton Cannon, they signed him too. So it's just been a mess for the 49ers.
What's the FXL star that they just signed?
His name is Jacques Patrick.
Yeah, so I guess he was really big in the FXL and
XFL, yeah.
he's coming along. So, but Eli Mitchell, as of right now, there's still a good chance he plays on Sunday. So I mean, he's really the only guy I'd throw.
Here's
into
the
my
thing,
lineup,
Mud. If anybody has an IR spot on their bench and you don't have Jeff Wilson Jr., if he's out there, you need to add him.
You have him, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But in
I've
whatever
already tried.
other league.
If you're in another league, yeah, put him in there for sure. That
Dude,
would be helpful.
he's gonna. Kyle Shanahan loves that guy.
Yeah.
And he's coming. He's gonna be back in November. So.
All right. Well, good. So, is there anything? I don't think there was anything else as far as news goes, right? I think that was pretty much it.
That's it for the news.
All right. So let's get into the Week 2 recap.
Okay. Let me pull this up here.
And it was an exciting week.
Wasn't it? All right, let's start with we'll start with the Philly Special versus the OG. So you want me to take this one?
Yeah, you kind of go through my team. I might say a thing or two and then I'll go
Okay,
through
so Philly Special. This game was neck and neck. It was a 50-50. The projection was 157.67 for OG. Philly Special was projected 156.36. So within a half a point. Jalen Hurts, did well for scoring 11 points for the Eagles. He had 21.8 points. The problem is they didn't score many points. They only scored 11 points.
Yeah, Rager had a huge touchdown call back for stepping out.
Metcalf's been struggling, man.
Yeah,
He's been struggling. He had 11.3, 0, didn't really do too much. Deontay Johnson did it again, 21.5. This is all coming on catches and yards.
Yeah.
Cooks did great. He did his 22.8. McCaffrey did great. Another great game, 24.5. Mixon got bottled up. That one hurt. That one hurt for Philly special.
Tough matchup.
He didn't do much. It was a tough matchup, but he got the ball 20 times.
Yep.
69 yards. He was lacking in the catches. No catches.
No catches, no touchdowns.
Right. And then you got Kyle Pitts. This was his best game of the year.
Yeah.
So he's been, progressively improving. Callaway, that was a bad pick.
That was a bad pick.
And I know that before the game started, you had Sutton in there.
I did.
You got cold feet. You took him out. And,
Yeah.
you got to go with your original thought. I know, because I do that too. I waver. But this year, one of the things I'm committed to is if I feel good about it all week, I'm going with it.
Well, that's
because I listen to too many other opinions.
That's what I mean. I didn't listen to any one person. Really, I didn't hear anybody talk about Sutton or Callaway. I had a gut feeling of Callaway, and I put Sutton in because it made more sense. And I tried to get cute. I tried to get cute last week. I said Jalen Reagor was going to have a good game. He sucked. I said Logan Thomas was going to score the most points. That was stupid. And I tried to get cute here with Callaway. I'm done being cute. All right, it's over. I lost the game.
Take off the suit and get ugly.
Yeah, I know. I lost the game because of that. I got mushed. I mushed myself,
Yeah, so. And then you went with Crosby and Green Bay, and, they did whatever.
They did, yeah.
Your bench, your bench did okay. I mean, obviously there's Sutton on the bench with 26.9. There's your win right there.
That's what I mean.
That's your win right there. So going over to the OG side, I'll do this game. You could do the next.
Okay.
You got Russell Wilson, who's just been throwing friggin' moonballs, dude. It's been unbelievable.
Oh, and Tyler Lockett. I thought, I got Metcalf. He's got Wilson.
Dude, Tyler Lockett had like 40 points.
Unreal.
It's unbelievable.
It'll start to shift towards Metcalf at some point.
So he had 25. Godwin had 16. Stebo had 16. Galladay had the 6.8 on that Thursday night. You were looking good after Thursday night.
Looking great.
Then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that's a bad pick. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Edwards-Helaire is a bum. He's a flex at best.
Yeah.
I would not start him.
Put him on the wire. That's where he belongs.
Well,
Just drop him, dude.
He comes out on third down. He comes out in the red zone.
Yeah.
It's like, and they don't ever throw the ball to the running back.
No.
So, I mean, he's a good player, but this is fantasy football.
Yeah, and I heard somebody say, and it made a lot of sense to me. The Chiefs, they don't need an all-star running back. They don't.
He's what they need. He does a good job.
They need him to do something. They need him to catch a pass. He can do it, but they don't need a running back that's going to run for 100 yards.
No.
It's going through Mahomes.
Those days are over.
It's a wrap for that. So he just is all the hype. You can just throw it in the trash, in my opinion. I mean, it's week 2, but that's what I think.
George Kittle struggling. I got to have George Kittle in 2 other leagues. And, he really hasn't had a good game yet. It's coming, I'm sure. But Austin Eckler, this was his best game so far.
Yep.
He had 22 and a half. He did well. He caught the ball. He ran it well. Matt Gay, 9 points. Arizona won. That was a bad move. I don't know if, the in between the lines, OG cut Denver Broncos for the Arizona Cardinals. Now Denver had 9, and Arizona had
Arizona's
1.
defense looked great last week, though.
I know, but they're not great.
Yeah,
they're not great. They looked great, but they're not great. You know what I mean? It's like they can't stop the pass.
Yep.
They get pressure on the quarterback. They literally have 2 backup cornerbacks and nobody that can really cover anybody.
Yeah, right.
So you can beat them. I mean, Minnesota proved that. You could beat them, and you just throw the ball over the top over and over and over. But this is how this game ended on Monday night with Aaron Jones. 4 touchdowns, a Monday Night Football record, and Aaron Jones scored 41 and a half points. Sealed it, and that was it.
Yeah, so 2 things I want to say. I want to go back to George Kittle real quick, but Aaron Jones, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to say woe is me, but the mush is real, man. I just traded Aaron Jones in my Dynasty League, which I was going to do. I didn't trade him because he had a bad week in week 1. I traded him for draft picks. But as soon as I let him go, he could have scored 20 points. That would have been fine. I was cool with that. I didn't even turn the TV on last night. I went to bed. I said, I'm not watching this game. I can't. If I watch it, he's going to do good. Well, I didn't watch it, and he literally had a career day. 4 touchdowns. Right up my butt. So, anyway.
He looked great,
dude,
too,
he's
man.
He's a top 10, top 5 running back. He's going to have those games like 3 times a year.
I'd say top 5, yeah.
He looked great. So, George Kittle, because, I mean, this is interesting. What do you think about him going? Are you nervous?
I mean, I'm really not, man. I mean, he's had games like this in the past.
Right.
I've had him he's my, the Ezekiel Elliott of the tight end for me. I always have Zeke and I always have George Kittle.
Right.
I will say that coming into this year, not because of the Niners' struggle, but because of the talent on the team and the possibility of Trey Lance taking over, I always thought that George Kittle was going to take a step down from where he was. Like, it was always Kelsey, Kittle, Waller and others. Yeah. Now it's Kelsey, Waller,
and Hawkinson. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then Kittle, I think, personally.
Yeah, so I mean, I he was injured a lot last year too. That could have a part to it, but it is concerning for sure to see.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the Niners play, I mean, he's still he's the best blocking tight end.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say too. They use him a lot there.
Yeah, so like for an NFL team, I mean, he's an MVP type. He's awesome.
Sure. All right, let's get into the next game, which is Christmas Money versus Dirt McGirt. 152 to 112. The original projections were 158 Christmas Money, 148 Dirt McGirt. So you were always projected to win this game by 10 points. And it did not end well for Dirt McGirt. Kyler Murray, unbelievable. Is he the number 1 fantasy player right now? I think it'll stay like that. I really do. He is absolutely unreal. 400 pass yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. 37 points. He's 2 guys in 1. 2 and 1. You can't. It's totally worth spending. What'd you 5th or 4th round on him? 5th. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley, who we talked about last week, and I was concerned for. He did finally have a decent day. Matt Ryan threw the ball a lot better this game.
Yeah.
7 for 63 and 1. DJ Moore, who is just finally looking like we always hoped he would, man.
Well, he's getting fed the ball, which he should. He's the best receiver on the team.
And that was Teddy Bridgewater last year. He loved, but look, this is what happened. Teddy Bridgewater loves Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson's a star. Teddy Bridgewater's gone. Where's Robbie Anderson now?
Gone.
He's not doing nothing, dude. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad receiver, but certain quarterbacks...
I saw him in the at the third quarter of that game in the locker room taking a nap.
Yeah, I mean, Teddy B just locked on to him, and I hope Teddy B locks on to Sutton. I think he is. I mean, that's good, but Robbie Anderson's good, but he just, he's not getting that ball fed to him like Teddy B.
Yeah, well, you know what? I listened to something during the week, and this is all I'll say because I know it's your game to break down. But when McCaffrey got hurt, all those underneath targets went away.
That makes a lot of sense.
And so, for some reason, they were trying to figure out how to use Robbie Anderson, and they used Robbie Anderson underneath, even though he's a deep threat traditionally.
Sure.
They used him as an underneath guy. Remember, he was running all those crossing patterns. They were throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage. Well, Christian McCaffrey wasn't playing.
Sure.
Now McCaffrey's back. Robbie Anderson's role is gone. They're trying to figure out how to use the guy.
That makes a lot of sense. That really does. So DJ Moore, 879 and a touchdown. Antonio Brown, 17 yards and 1 reception. He did not have a great game. I think this is just a thing with fantasy football players. You get so excited based off of 1 week, and I still do think he has a chance to be right next to Godwin, but Tom Brady, he spread the love, man, and Gronk did his thing again.
Yeah.
Godwin didn't do bad, and Antonio Brown, he didn't have a great day, so he kind of hurt you with 2 points.
Yeah.
Kamara did not have. I don't know what's up with the Saints. Like, They demolished the Packers, made Aaron Rodgers look like he needed to retire, and then they come out and get smoked by the Carolina Panthers, who are not a bad team. Defense looks great. Offense is doing well, but I don't understand. I don't understand why they didn't intentionally make sure Kamara got more involved. What's the quarterback's name?
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. I was gonna say Watson. Jameis Winston looked like he got his eye surgery reversed and he can no longer see. I'm waiting for that to come out. Jameis Winston got poked in the eye right before the game because that's what it looked like, man. He looked like old classic Jameis Winston, just throwing the ball up in the air and hoping somebody catches it. And they did. It was the defense. All right, so Kamara hurt you. He had four receptions for 25 yards and 5 rushing yards. That's pathetic.
I know.
But he'll bounce back from that. That's just it's a fluke. Montgomery, 61 rushing yards, 3 receptions, 18 yards receptions. Didn't kill you, 10 points. I mean, double digit. What else can you ask for, you know? And this is your boy right here, T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
8 for 66 and a touchdown. He is, in my opinion, he's in that top 3 conversation.
Yeah.
He really is. And he's on a trashy team that has no one else to throw the ball to.
He's their number one.
He's it. So that is, I think he's going to have a fantastic year.
Mm-hmm.
Najee Harris, 1 reception touchdown, 5 reception, and 43 yards rushing. The touchdowns and the reception saved him. But did you see that stiff arm?
Oh, my word. And the touchdown. Did you see the touchdown?
Yeah.
He's a beast, man.
He is a beast.
The Steelers, went out and they really, this is something that they have to make sure they do. And I'm not just saying this because he's on my fantasy football team. He's the best player on their team. They have to get him the football.
No, I agree.
Like, they have to put the ball in his hands. I can understand their line sucks. If they can't run him, they got to get him out in screens. They got to, when they put the ball in the man's hands, he does things like that.
Yeah, and I think as the season goes on, he'll get better. He's adjusting to the NFL still.
Yeah.
But he helped you with 19 points.
Yeah, he really saved me.
Yep. So your kicker had a decent game, 5 points, and your defense had a good game with 9 points.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dirk McGurk's team, Aaron Rodgers, bounced back, 4 touchdowns, 255 yards, and 6 rushing yards.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't hear anybody say, certainly we didn't say, oh, he's done for. No, he's going to bounce back. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's a Hall of Famer, man. A.J. Brown, very, very concerning. The drops. I heard on a show, his family, I don't know if they Facebooked him or tweeted him and said, you can't even catch COVID. That's how he dropped, 4 passes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is concerning. He had 7 points, 43 yards, and 3 receptions. I mean, he's a great receiver, and I think, just like Metcalf or somebody, it's going to come. It's week 2. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb is looking outstanding. 81 reception yards, 8 receptions, 13 rushing yards. I mean, 17 points. He did his thing right around his projection. I think he's going to continue to do well. Brandon Ayuk, 1.6, one reception for 6 yards.
Yeah, this is where, when you have your finger on the pulse, this is where casual fantasy football fans and fanatics like you and me,
right,
is kind of set apart. Like, I believe that if I had Brandon Ayuk on my team, I would have never played him.
I wouldn't have played him either.
Because I knew everything that was coming out. Like, he's in the doghouse. He's, about to lose his job to Trent Sherfield. Kyle Shanahan went on record saying that Ayuk's got to be a better pro. He's got to adjust better to the NFL. And to start Ayuk during all that, you're asking for trouble.
Sure, yeah. You're
got
hoping
one
for,
target.
Yeah, and
2 games in a row.
Who's he got on his bench? Let me pull up his bench.
Michael Pittman Jr.
But Michael Pittman Jr. after last week was a tough call too. It was. I'll say that, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I probably would have went with Russell Gage, honestly, which he wouldn't have helped much either. But, I mean, Pittman Jr., I think, is going to be excellent. We'll see how that quarterback situation plays out. But, yeah, Ayuk right now, he's in Shanahan's doghouse for sure, so that's a tough. Hopefully during the season he'll start to pick it back up. But, okay, moving on. Jonathan Taylor, who I've never been big on. I've never loved Jonathan Taylor. I probably never will love Jonathan Taylor. He had 51 rushing yards, 1 reception, and 2 reception yards. He was Dave's first round pick. I hated it.
Did you hear the stat about Jonathan Taylor?
No.
He has the most rushes inside the 10 in the NFL.
I mean, that's great.
He has
you know?
10 carries inside
This
the
year?
10-yard line.
Hey,
Yep.
that's how many of them turned into touchdowns?
None.
Wow.
0. So once that, I mean, I'm just saying, that's a stat. If that turns around,
Right.
he's turning
Well,
around.
and that's the thing. I mean, the thing that you look for, the thing that I look for in a player is volume. So, like, I honestly wasn't big on Joe Mixon, but he gets the volume.
Yeah.
So eventually, the touchdowns, the catches, they catch up. So that is a good stat for Jonathan Taylor. There's some hope for you. I still don't like him though. Antonio Gibson, what do you think about him? 69 rushing yards, 2 receptions for 4 yards. And
He's an RB2, man. I mean, he's good player, but McKissick eats into his playing time too much, man.
yeah,
You know, we watched that game on Thursday night because it was on, prime
Right.
time, and McKissick's out there like all the clutch situations. When they're
the
2-minute drill,
the third
third
down.
downs, he's out there, and like third down is the down when, the quarterback drops back and it's like third and like, 18. And it's like everybody's covered. It's like, man, so he dumps it off to the running
Right,
back.
yeah.
You know how many points, garbage points, and like, where that doesn't go for a first down, but it's like fantasy gold, right?
Yeah, garbage gold.
Yeah, well, guys that are always out there, McCaffrey, Kamara, Najee Harris now, Dalvin Cook.
That's where they feast.
Yeah, they get like all the like the touchdowns, the good plays, the runs, and then the even stuff like that. Well, Antonio Gibson isn't ever out there on those plays.
Yeah.
He's good. He'll do good, but I don't think he's ever going to be higher than like 13, 14.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
and I wish McKissick was on the wire because I would definitely snatch him up. He had a great, and he, I have him in the Dynasty League. He has like 3 to 5 games like that a year where he'll get 20
Kills
points.
it,
Yeah,
man.
he does. He's a great pass catcher. So Robert Tonyan came back. He had a touchdown, 52 yards, and 3 reception. Henderson Jr. did his thing with 17 points, 1 touchdown, 53 yards, 3 reception, but goes out with the thumb injury again.
Nah, it was his rib.
Oh, his rib. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was thumb. Yep.
The rib cartilage.
And he's questionable.
Yeah.
He's not ruled out, right?
Well, they're saying that they're optimistic he can play, but Sony Michel came in, man, carried the ball 10 times for 50 yards. So he looked good.
Yeah.
He looked decent. So, but here's another guy that's always hurt.
Right.
Darrell Henderson. But, he's looked really good this year so far. If he can stay healthy.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right. So that's something to keep an eye on, practice. Hopefully if he practices Friday, you're probably good.
Yeah.
All right. How do you say this? Vizcaino? Vizcaino. Okay, 9 points. He did good. Washington defense didn't help you. 3 points. So at the end of the day, you get the victory. You move to 2-0. And Dave, you and me are right next to each other at the bottom of the pack.
All right, moving on. Team Flash and the K-Slayers. Kevin, the K-Slayers, called me. He hoped this isn't too close to home, but he nestled in his couch down in his sitting room there in his wonderful, beautiful new house with my lovely sister. He nestled in at about 12 p.m., getting ready for the pregame, and didn't get up off that couch until about midnight that night. He sat on that couch for 12 hours and just took it up the ass.
It sounds like a good day besides the loss.
No, I'm just kidding, Kev. He's probably mad now. But he, Kevin, everybody he's played, Team Flash, and then the week before, he's played teams that have scored a boatload of points.
Yeah.
We'll go down Team Flash, Josh Allen, serviceable day, 17.5. Justin Jefferson, 18.5. Mike Evans. What I've found out so far is it's either going to be Evans or Antonio Brown.
Yeah, that's what it seems
Evans
like.
or Antonio Brown.
Right.
So this was Evans. Julio Jones, man, killed it. 20.8 points. Man, he had 6 catches, 128 yards, and had that 1 touchdown called back. Dalvin Cook, 18.8. Ronald Jones did nothing. That was a bad play there, 4.5. Gronkowski had 20 points. Sterling Shepard, another good call, 17.5. Greg Zuerlein, Greg DeLeg hit that 57-yarder at the end, which that was a 4-point ad right there. It's a passing touchdown.
Yeah, no, that's good.
9-pointer. And Tampa Bay defense, they scored 2 touchdowns on interceptions. I think one was a fumble, one was an interception in the fourth quarter.
Crazy. Gave
them 19 points. So Team Flash is looking good. They're making all the right calls. K Slayers, Justin Herbert did good enough. He had 18.7.
I mean, I think probably the fantasy community is not too thrilled with him because you drafted him to be 25 and up. You know what I'm saying? And he hasn't. It's week 2, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, they're playing the Chiefs this week, so I could see a big game for him.
Sure.
Stephon Diggs, 16. He's always going to do that, but I mean that's a little bit underwhelming for him. Keenan Allen, 16.8. Here it is, Cooper Kupp. Would you consider Cooper Kupp the MVP? But obviously besides Kyler Murray, but Cooper Kupp's been the best player in fantasy football up to this point.
Bro, he's a wide receiver 1. He looks like he did a couple years ago when he killed it. I sent you a trade. You rejected it. I would love to have Cooper Kupp, but yeah, him and Matthew Stafford have connected, and yeah, he's gonna kill it. Yeah,
he's the number 2 ranked fantasy football player, quarterbacks and everything.
That's
number
insane.
2.
I mean, I'm sure it'll change, but that's insane. What do you have week 1? He had 38 this week.
He must have had 30 week 1.
Yeah, that's insane.
Zeke actually did something. He had 17.7. Zeke rushed for 71 yards. He obviously got into the end zone. He caught a couple passes. Let's see, 16 carries, 71 yards. That touchdown, 2 catches for 22 yards. That puts Zeke right at 17.7. Damian Harris, 13.4. Man, good week for Damian. Dude, did you see that touchdown by Damian Harris?
Dude, he looked like a old Cadillac Williams out there.
Bro, he was running hard, man. Logan Thomas, he got 9.5 out of him. Robbie Anderson, another dud. Justin Tucker, 6, and the Rams defense, 8. They're top defense in the league. So, K Slayers is sitting at 0-2. Team Flash is 2-0. Now we're off to the Leatherheads and in to win.
Well, before we go there, I can't pass without saying this. You flew by Zeke. What do you think about Tony Pollard cutting into his time going forward?
I mean, it's a real thing, man.
When you looked at that game, did you get to watch any of that game at all? When you looked at Tony Pollard and you looked at Zeke, who looked better?
Well, you can't do that. They're two because they're. I'm telling you, that is what people do, and you can't do that. Tony Pollard comes in fresh. He comes in rested.
That's true, absolutely, yeah.
Zeke is grinding it out. He's running. He's being tackled. He's blocking. All those pass plays, Zeke is probably one of, if not the best, blocking running back in the NFL.
Sure.
He lays linebackers out, man. So, and then you bring in Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard, yeah, he looks quicker. He is faster.
Yeah,
He's got great burst. He gets to the edge. And I really think that this year, Tony Pollard is going to have a big role.
No, I agree. I mean, he had 13 attempts for 109 yards, a touchdown, 3 targets for 31 yards. I mean, I think after that game, I don't see how he doesn't get more time now.
He's going to.
He looked amazing.
Yep.
He really did. Okay, so let's move on because we're dragging this out here a little bit. All right, so getting into the next game, which is In to Win and the Leatherheads. In to Win, I believe, had the lowest scoring game of the week
I've ever seen.
Maybe I've ever seen. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, Dave, I love you, man, but when you asked me about your team, this is what I was afraid of. A lot of question marks. Week 1, you did well. You did really well. You were number 1. But I'm afraid that this is the possibility of what your team could look like week to week. You have a lot of question marks. You have Mahomes, who's always going to do good. Hill had a bad week. That's not going to happen a lot. He's going to do well. Smith, I mean, he's a rookie. I think he'll do better. I think he'll get you at least 10 going forward. But he had 2 receptions and 16 yards. As your 2, that's going to hurt every time. Chark, he had 1 reception for 19 yards. He's on a terrible team with 2 other receivers who are not bad at all. That they're going to battle for that spot. Miles Sanders, he looked good when he had the ball, but 55 yards and 1 reception. I mean, the Eagles just had a bad day, and they're gonna have a lot of bad days. And you got too many Eagles on your team. That's the problem.
Too many from the same 2 teams.
Yeah, and it's your first year, and you're gonna win some games, and it's gonna be all right. But you can't have all those guys on the same team.
I want to interject. There's a solution here.
Trade.
You look at this team. What's the solution for Dave?
For Dave,
how does he get out of this hole he's in?
I would make some trades.
Specifically,
I would trade Mahomes.
Hill.
Or Hill. One of the other. Yeah,
Hill.
You got to trade one of the other because
he can get a king's ransom for Tyreek.
Yeah, Hill. I mean, but if it were me, what I would do, I agree with that 100%. But quarterbacks are so replaceable that you're not going to replace Tyreek Hill. You're not going to replace Mahomes either. Mahomes is going to get you close to 30, maybe more than that every week. You can get another quarterback who will get you 20 or better. You can get a quarterback up off the wire that will always get you 20. So if it were me, I would trade Mahomes and get 2 really decent players.
But that's the thing. Who's going to want Mahomes? Everybody's got a good quarterback.
Well, I mean...
people want wide receivers.
People probably want wide receivers more for quarterbacks, but Mahomes is the face of the NFL. I mean... I feel like I know what I'm doing, kind of, and I would probably pay for Mahomes because I don't have a good quarterback. You know what I mean? But obviously, Hill, you probably get more for Hill than you get for Mahomes.
You can get a really good wide receiver and a really good running back.
Yeah, you get like a high end or a low end 1, high end 2, and like an RB2 probably for Hill all day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think he's got to make a move. You
got to bite that bullet.
Yeah,
man.
Absolutely. All right, so Kareem Hunt didn't do well, 51 and 2 reception yards. Goddard, he didn't do. Nobody on the Eagles did well. That's what hurt. But Hollywood Brown, on the other hand, he's starting to look like the real deal. I think I'm in on him going forward. There's no question as to should you play him or not. You should.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of last year, he looked really good. I think he was the wide receiver 11 for the last month last year.
He scored like 6 weeks in a row or something.
Yeah, and this year, he is doing great. He had 113 yards, 6 receptions, and a touchdown. Your kicker had 5, and Pittsburgh defense didn't do well. So you got to make a move. I would try and make a move. Play the waiver wire hard. Okay, Dak Prescott had a horrible game. I think he bounces back easy. It is confusing after his first week performance. Al Robinson, he didn't do much. He hasn't really looked the same. He had a touchdown, so he wound up getting 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper didn't have a good game. Neither did Dak. The only one who did really was the running backs and CeeDee Lamb. He had 3 receptions for 24 yards. J.J. Smith-Schuster, he looked great. He had a touchdown, 6 receptions. Chubb, he had 95 yards, a rushing touchdown, and 1 reception. He looked amazing. Chris Carson, steady Eddie. He always gets you what you need. He might not get 20, but he's going to get between 13 and 20 or right around there every week, as long as he's healthy. He had 2 touchdowns, 31 yards. Yeah, not a lot of touchdowns. He does get touchdowns, though. So, okay. Travis Kelce did his thing.
Yeah.
109 yards, 7 receptions, and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers.
Can't believe the Leatherhead scored 116 points and still won.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he would have lost to pretty much everybody
lost to
else.
Anybody else.
And that's the way it goes. Like, you could have, when we get into my dad's and my brother's game, the 2 top scoring. They would have beat anybody else, but, my brother lost because of it. Okay, Cleveland, 5 points. All right, so moving on.
This is it, right?
All right, so get him.
All right.
So I'll just pull it up while you're doing that. So this is the game of the week, I would say, between Coach Shafe and College Moms. And the score was 194 to
184.
184, yep. And, College Moms was supposed to blow this one out of the water. Every time I looked at it, he was projected. There was at one point he was 90% projected to win, and then Coach Shafe came back. So Coach Shafe, my dad, is going to be our special guest on this episode, and he's going to join us right now. Are you there, Dad?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. We're glad to have you on the All in the Family podcast. And this is what we're going to pretty much do as we have guests on. We're going to talk about fantasy football, of course, but we're also going to just get to know this person because, you know, there's two different families and then there's friends involved, so not everybody knows the person who's going to be coming on. So, all right, Dad, why don't you tell us about your football and your coaching background?
I played football for my father, who's a New Jersey Hall of Fame coach for a state championship team at Mainland Regional. I played football at West Point, which is Army Navy game. Most people know it as. Had 6 knee surgeries and shoulder reconstruction, and that's the end of my football career.
And what position did you play?
I played quarterback.
Okay.
And at West Point during those days, we ran the wishbone, which means the quarterback got killed on every play.
Got wishboned.
Okay, good. So, so you have an extensive, you know sports, you know football, and you also tell us about what kind of things you've coached.
I've coached every sport: baseball, softball, football, basketball, and golf.
Yep. And
I've had a winning record in 50 seasons of coaching.
That's good. That's
I'm
amazing.
more known for basketball because I've won 3 state titles and 7 South Jersey titles.
Yep.
But I grew up, I've been breaking down film with my father since I was in 2nd grade. So, it's really Grandpa that taught me, made me who I was. So.
All right. Yeah. Awesome.
Hey, Jim, let me ask you a question. How do you like playing fantasy football so far?
I'm enjoying it. It's fun. Because it's family, my 2 sons, my other grandfather, and yourself. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
So, because of the family mix of it, I'm enjoying it. Connor and I joke a lot about it, and Justin and I joke a lot about it on the phone and texting, and it's fun.
Yeah, so I asked you to get involved in fantasy, I think, since I started doing it, and there's a lot of people out there that don't do fantasy. It's all the same. I don't know enough. It's going to ruin football for me. And those are all the things that you didn't say you didn't know enough. You said that you thought it would ruin football for you. So do you still feel that way now, or do you feel like it makes you like it more, or where do you sit on that?
It doesn't make me like it any less. I'm not sure if it makes me like it more because, probably all the people that are part of the league and do fantasy football, I love football. So,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it if you guys, if the family didn't need another team.
Right.
But I am enjoying myself and look forward to doing it with you guys in the future.
Yeah, good.
That's good, Jim.
All right, so how good did it feel to open up that huge can of whoop-ass on your youngest son, Connor?
We joked all week, and he was ahead all week. I never thought I was going to win, but
Right, yeah.
I'm a rookie, but when you have to score 195 points to egg out your son, I don't think you go around screaming can of whoop ass.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody Connor's experience. So
right.
But yeah, from what I saw, they're the 2 highest scores in the league so far. So I didn't exactly open a can, but I'm happy for the win because we had a good laugh about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so at one point you were looking to trade Derrick Henry.
Right.
Is that something you still are still trying to do?
I had an offer today, and it wasn't a bad one, but it didn't fit my needs.
What was the offer?
It was sent to me in a private chat, so I don't think
Yeah.
I can discuss it.
Okay.
Post trade, I'd rather not. But
Okay.
it was a fair offer. I just don't have the needs of what was offered to me. But
Yeah.
Sure. Right.
so it's I don't mind trading or doing that stuff. Yeah, Derrick Henry saved me. I mean,
Yeah.
how many times does people score 50 points? I mean,
Right.
it was incredible.
I
I
know.
love the guy, but they still have defensive woes, the team. And, the first week, I was like, they're going to have to abandon the run because they're so bad on defense. So,
They really are, yeah.
Yeah.
that's why I thought about trading them. So,
Sure. Yeah.
and I'm sure that's a stupid move in fantasy football, but I am I had no idea how to draft until Connor helped me, and I totally blew the waiver wire in the first week because I had no idea how to do that either. So,
Right.
I can't say I'm an expert at this stuff because I'm not.
Sure.
So with that, do you have any questions on how that works, the waiver wire or anything like that?
Actually, Justin explained it to me.
Okay.
When I asked him, and so did Connor.
Yeah.
I just, Connor didn't. Part of it's funny. I keep talking about him because he'll never do an interview with you guys. But
He won't.
No,
He
he
won't.
won't.
No.
if you lose the first week or the second week, you get better position on the waiver wire, and he cleaned up on the waiver wire. So he's not nervous whatsoever, and he was the one that told me, first 3 weeks you actually build your roster, which I've seen Paul do too. So,
Right.
they're two people that are going to be heard from. So I'm humble because I'm also stupid when it comes to this fantasy football stuff.
Right. Well, you have gotten off to a great start. You're in first place right now, and although it was a really close game, I mean, to come back with 194 to beat a 184, you don't see that too often. So, is there anything else that you'd like to say or anything like that before we sign off here?
I hope you've calculated the shipping to send the trophy to 204.
Oh,
I
man.
don't want that to come out of somebody's winning.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we'll see. There's still a lot of football left to play. You're off to a great start. I still think you're going to have some running back problems. But, I mean, listen, with Lamar Jackson, Hopkins, and Henry, that's all you really need right there. You don't need to say much else. So, all right, Dad. Well, it was great to have you on, and I'll talk to you later during the week.
See you later,
Okay,
Jim.
guys, thanks for having me. I love your podcast. Keep going.
All right, awesome.
Have a good night.
All right, thanks.
You too.
All right, so now we didn't really break this down. So do you want to go into that?
Yeah, let's just real quick. So I mean, we did talk about the score. We can go just hit the highlights here. And really that the biggest storyline is Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry killed it. He had 49.7 points. The game did go into overtime, and it was another Derrick Henry walk-off touchdown. 182 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 catches for 55 yards. I mean, that's what Derrick Henry's been doing this year. He's never done that.
Right.
He just stepped up to a whole nother level. So anyway, he's got, he had Hopkins with 15.5. He had Thielen with 15.5. Mike Williams, which I thought was a great play.
Yeah, absolutely.
22. Singletary had 17. He had a 50-yard touchdown.
He had that touchdown run. That was it right there.
Waller didn't do much, and you're not going to get many. Waller didn't do much.
I mean, that's a bad game, 11 points, you know.
Yep, and then Jamar Chase scored 13 and a half. And then he had Lamar with the 36. He only had one less point than Kyler Murray. And then you go over to the college moms, Brady. Brady threw 5 touchdowns again. Dude.
Unreal.
I mean, he's just unbelievable. He had Devontae Adams with 22. McLaurin had that huge Thursday night game with 29 and a half. Bobby Trees as a wide receiver, 12.
Yep.
Barkley, didn't do much, but he didn't need it, really. I mean, he did lose, but, Barkley's going to get going. He had 9.
Right.
Swift had 11.8. Andrews, 10 and a half, and here it goes. Lockett, 33.8.
Unreal.
I mean, what is up with Tyler Lockett, man? 8 catches, 180 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, and I before the draft, like the week going into, I said, I want Tyler Lockett. Then I said, no, I don't, because this is what happens. He has these dynamite games, and then he'll lay a 1-pointer or 2-pointer on you. You know what I mean? So right now he looks great. I'm just saying that I don't know it's always going to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I like Tyler Lockett is because 4 or 5 times a year, he can win you the week.
Yeah, and
there's not many players that can do that.
Right? No, he can. And my brother has him in the flex, so I mean that's where you want to have him.
He's got the best wide receivers, man.
Yeah, he's got some.
It's
good
like
receivers.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got the best team.
If Barkley hits, he's gonna be tough.
Yep.
He's gonna be tough to beat. So
he's gonna hit. I mean, it's only a matter of time.
The college moms who has the platinum status, who won the best draft grade, who never does a mock draft is...
Well, we'll see. I mean, injuries tell the tale.
Right, yeah.
Whichever team is standing at the end, the healthiest.
Okay, yep.
That's who's going to win.
All right, so quickly, let's go through week 3. We'll just go through and pick a winner.
Yep.
Philly Special or Dirt McGirt?
Philly Special.
I'm going to go with Dirt McGirt because the last 2 weeks I said I was going to win and I lost. So I'm going to say Dirt's going to win this game.
Really?
I'm putting the Malonkis on I'm reversing it. I'm reversing it, dude. The last 2 weeks I'm going to win, I lose. This week I say he's going to win, I win. That's what I'm doing here. All right, so I'm going to go with Dirt McGirt. I'm the mush man. I'll get mush probably. Second matchup, Christmas Money and K Slayers. 160 Christmas Money, 147 K Slayers. I'm going to go with Christmas Money for the win on this one. Where are you falling?
I'm going to go with Christmas Money.
You can't go it's hard to go against yourself, right? All right. In It to Win It and Team Flash. In It to Win It with 139.81. Team Flash projection 146.
Man, is Team Flash going to be 3-0? I mean, it looks like it.
Highly possible. He's got Josh Jacobs in there right now. I mean, I don't think he's going to play.
He ain't playing.
I think he's going to be week to week like Joe Mixon was last year and miss a bunch of time. That's my take. I don't know nothing.
He needs a running back bad.
He needs a running back. I mean, he's got Dalvin Cook, so that helps a lot, but he needs another running back for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the thing with Dave's team is going to be if Smith hits, if Sanders, he'll be okay, but there's going to be weeks where they're going to really hurt.
I think, Team Flash is going to win it.
Yeah, I'm not going to cute this week. Team Flash, I'm going to go with the win too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is going to be, the last two are close. Coach Shave at 156 and the Leatherheads.
This is a battle of the unbeaten.
Yeah, and Leatherheads at 154.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you picking here?
I'm going with Coach Shave.
Okay. Yep.
He's going to be 3-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Leatherheads on this one. Sorry, Dad, I love you, but I'm gonna go with Dak Prescott has a bounce back game and just on Monday night and torches us, which I hope doesn't happen, but I think he's gonna have a good game. So I think he's gonna be the winner for the Leatherheads. All right, the last game, College Moms versus OG Trouble Todd, 162 to 154. This is a close one. Who are you gonna pick on this one?
On this one, I think I'm going to say that let me take a look here, a little bit deep dive here and see what we got. This one's coming down to Sunday night, man. These guys got a lot of prime timers in this game. Todd's got Kittle, Aaron Jones, Debo Samuel, Devontae Adams on the other side over there. Wow. I'm gonna go with the college moms. I think he gets off the schneid.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm gonna go college moms too. Okay, so that's our week 3 projections, and now we're gonna get into a Thursday night preview.
Mm-hmm.
So the Carolina Panthers play the Houston Texans this Thursday night.
Give me a score.
So what do I think the score is going to be?
Yep.
So the over-under is 43.5. I'm going to say Carolina wins 24-9.
I say Carolina 31, Houston 10.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a high scoring too, so that's probably more accurate. But yeah, so we're both projecting Carolina to win. Who's going to be the stud muffin in this game?
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I'm not getting cute. It's Christian McCaffrey. He's going to kill it.
They're not going to be able to stop him.
So
he's gonna destroy the Houston Texans.
Yep.
It's gonna look ridiculous.
What do you think Brandon Cooks does?
I think Cooks will get, I think he'll get 15, 16 just with catches. I just can't see him scoring.
Yeah.
I think Carolina's defense is, by the halfway point of the season, people are going to be saying, I need that defense on my team.
Right.
They're going to be nasty, man.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter now, but I put a claim in for them, and I hope I get it. It's prioritized, and I lost, so it might not come to you. Put a claim in. I'll tell you, and I screenshot it this time too. I put a claim in for Rondell Moore, the Carolinas Panthers, and then there was another defense I can't remember if I don't.
Well, you ain't gonna get the Panthers if you pull one in for Rondell Moore.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure I won't, but I might switch it. I might put the Panthers defense in. Might snake them from.
Somebody needs to play the Panthers.
No, they're gonna go off. They're gonna go off for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need you to go first here on this one. This is gonna be one pick of the week that's obviously not Christian McCaffrey, Devontae Adams, somebody like that. Somebody, they can be a good player, but not like a top 3 player that you think is going to absolutely kill it this week. And one, somebody who's really good that's going to bust.
Okay. One player that I think is going to kill it this week. Let me see. I can't pull up anything here. Here we go. I'm going to go with DK Metcalf.
I love that pick.
I think he's going to kill it this week. He's at Minnesota. They have trouble stopping the pass. Obviously, you saw what, Rondell Moore and DeAndre Hopkins did to them. Kyler Murray threw for 400 yards. So here comes red hot Russell Wilson. They got Tyler Lockett, but Tyler Lockett, is he going to do that 3 games in a row?
Oh, it's going to be crazy.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think DK Metcalf's going to go off. And then my bust of the week, oh man, that can be so hard.
Wasn't really ready for this part. So I'll go. Okay, so my, probably mushing myself here, but my pick of the week is Kyle Pitts. He's gotten better every single game, and he's got a decent matchup against the New York Giants. And I'm not just saying this because he's on my team. I really do think that this is the week where he kind of comes out, gets a touchdown, and has, I don't think he'll break 100 yards, but, maybe something like 70 yards and a touchdown or, something like that. So I think he's going to have a good game. All right, do you got a bust candidate?
Yep. My bust candidate for the week is going to be Rob Gronkowski.
Ooh.
Yep, I don't think Gronkowski's going to do much. I think he'll play. I think he'll block. I think he'll, do whatever. But I do think this game's going to be won with Chris Godwin in the slot, on the ground, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. I do think the Bucs are going to pull it out, and that's how I think they're going to do it. So obviously Gronkowski he's number 17. He's got 50 fantasy points in 2 weeks. So bust in comparison to that.
Yep.
He might have 10 points.
All right, give me 1 second here. I just had it pulled up. Okay, so I hate to say this to you, but I'm gonna go with. I don't think Kamara's gonna have a good game. I think that New England's gonna take him out of the game. New England always takes out the best player.
Yeah.
And he's really all they got right now. So I think Bill Belichick is going to scheme up to, shut him down. I mean, he's a superstar, so it'd be tough. But so that's it. So Kamara, I think he doesn't have a good week again. Okay. I think that's pretty much it, right?
I think we covered everything.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.